Good morning, students. Now I'm going to discuss about the introduction concepts in thermodynamics chapter. Here, I'm going to discuss about the thermodynamic system first. There are three different kinds of thermodynamic systems: open system, closed system, and isolated system. And then I will discuss state variables and state equation. And I will discuss the thermodynamic equilibrium. There are three kinds of equilibriums: thermal equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium, chemical equilibrium. Combinedly, we are taking as thermodynamic equilibrium. And then I will discuss about thermodynamic processes. We have to discuss 6 types of processes, thermodynamic processes in this chapter. Those are isobaric, isochoric, isothermal, adiabatic, cyclic and non-cyclic, and reversible and irreversible process. These 6 thermodynamic processes I am going to introduce here. And finally, I am going to discuss about zeroth law of thermodynamics. Let us start the discussion one by one in detail. I will share my screen. Let us see first, what is thermodynamics? So thermodynamics is the branch of science which deals with the transfer of heat and the conversion of heat into mechanical energy. So the basic definition of thermodynamics, what we can say is, it deals with the transfer of heat between two bodies and conversion of the heat energy into the mechanical energy. So this is the basic definition of thermodynamics. So first we are going to discuss here what is thermodynamic system. So the first topic you can say thermodynamic system. What is a thermodynamic system means? It is a collection of large number of molecules which are bounded by a closed surface. So it is a collection of large number of molecules. For example, a gas in a container is a piston. Here it consists of gas. So this is a system, and remaining all we should take it as surroundings. So the thermodynamic system is basically a collection of large number of molecules which are bounded by a closed surface. So here three kinds of thermodynamic systems we have. First one, open system. Second one, closed system. Third one, isolated system. So these three systems, let us see what is what. So first, open system is, it can be exchanging both matter and energy with the surroundings. The open system here, it can exchange both matter and energy with the surroundings. Whereas the closed system, it can exchange only energy, not matter. That is a closed system. And isolated system is, since it is isolated, neither energy nor matter can exchange. Here matter can be in any state. The matter actually, it can be a solid or liquid or a gas. So these are the three kinds of thermodynamic systems, and each system should be described with some state. There should be some state of thermodynamic system. But a state can be described with the help of some fundamental state variables like pressure, volume, temperature, and we have some more parameters like number of moles and internal energy of the system. All these are helpful for describing the state of the thermodynamic system. So these are called as state variables. Pressure we indicate with the letter P, volume indicated with letter V, temperature with T, the number of moles that is indicated with small n, and internal energy is indicated with U. These are the state variables used to describe the state of the thermodynamic system. And state equation means here we have one equation to describe the state of the thermodynamic system, that is PV is equal to nRT. So this is the state equation of thermodynamic system. It is clearly discussed in detail in the kinetic theory of gases. Here, P stands for pressure, V stands for volume, N stands for number of moles, and T stands for temperature. This R is here universal gas constant. The value of R is derived in the kinetic theory of gases, and the proof all discussed in detail there. Anyway, here the state equation which is used to describe the state of the thermodynamic system is PV is equal to nRT. It will be used in future in this chapter also. And what is the thermodynamic equilibrium? Let us see. Thermodynamic equilibrium means if the parameters pressure, volume, temperature, these kind of parameters are constant without changing with the time, then we say that the system is thermodynamic equilibrium. So when we say that the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium means if the pressure, volume, temperature, these state variables are not changing with time. Not changing with time. Then we say that system, the thermodynamic system is in equilibrium condition. Here the thermodynamic equilibrium system should have three different kinds of equilibrium conditions. One is mechanical equilibrium. And second one is thermal equilibrium. And third one is chemical equilibrium. If these three conditions are satisfied, then only we say that the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium. These three combinedly we are taking as thermodynamic equilibrium. Here, what is mechanical equilibrium means? There is no unbalanced force at any point in the system. You take a system, at any point of the system, the net force should be zero. in a given direction. So at any point of the system, there is no unbalanced force. No unbalanced force, we should remember here. Then we should say the system is in mechanical equilibrium. Next one, thermal equilibrium means all parts of the system, any part of the system should be at same temperature or uniform temperature. The system, if we consider here, if it is 25 degrees centigrade temperature, here also it should be 25 degrees centigrade temperature, and the surroundings also at the same temperature. Then this system is taken as thermal equilibrium condition. And chemical equilibrium condition means there is uniform chemical composition. Uniform chemical composition throughout the system. Means the internal structure of the system should not change with the changes in the chemical reactions. If there is any chemical reactions happens, the internal structure of the system should not change. Then it is said to be in chemical equilibrium. Like that, if these three equilibrium conditions are satisfied, then only we should take it as the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium condition. And let us discuss thermodynamic processes. Third one is thermodynamic processes. There are different kinds of processes we have to discuss clearly. There are 6 different kinds of processes in this chapter. That is, first, isobaric process. Second one, isochoric process. And third one, isothermal process. And fourth one, adiabatic process. And fifth one, cyclic and non-cyclic process. And last one, reversible and irreversible process. See, the isobaric process means, let us see the definitions one by one here. Isobaric process means the pressure should be constant. In this process, pressure should be constant. Temperature, volumes can vary. Then the system is said to be an isobaric process. Whereas in isochoric process, volume should be constant. Pressure and temperature can vary. Isochoric process, that's why it is also called as isovolumetric process. Isochoric or isovolumetric process. Whereas isothermal process means, the name itself indicates it, thermal. The temperature should be constant in this process and pressure and volumes can vary. And adiabatic process means there is no heat flow. No heat flow in this process. That means change in the heat is 0. Mathematically, we can express like this: the condition where there is no heat flow, we can say like delta Q is equal to 0 here. Delta Q, final heat minus initial heat. Since there is no change in the heat, then the change in the heat is 0. Then cyclic and non-cyclic process here. Cyclic process means initial state of the system should be equal to final state. So there are state changes in the system. After changing different states, finally, again, if it is coming back to the initial state of the system, then the system is said to be cyclic process. The process of different changes in the states, S1, S2, S3, and then after different changes in the states, finally if it is coming back to this state, then the process is said to be cyclic process. If it is not equal, initial state is not equal to final state, then we say that non-cyclic process. So unequal, both are unequal. Sorry. So non-cyclic process means final state is not equal to initial state. Whereas a reversible and irreversible process, let us see. A process is said to be irreversible process if the different changes occurred in the system process S1 to S2, S2 to S3. If it is a direct process having these changes in this order S1 to S2, S2 to S3, then the reversible process should be able to perform the state changes in this order S3 to S2, S2 to S1. So if it can perform the changes in the reverse order as it is, then we can say the process is a reversible process. Means we can take that a matter, it is in the form of ice. If we increase the temperature, we'll get water. So the state changes here. Still, if you are increasing the temperature, you get vapor. Now it is the direct process. We have two state changes here. If you consider that vapor, and if we decrease the temperature, we'll get first water, and further decrement in the temperature, resulting into we'll get ice back. So these are the state changes: ice to water, water to vapor in direct process. Whereas in the reversible process, first vapor to water we are getting, and then from water to ice we are getting back. So we are able to perform the state changes in the reverse order. So this kind of process we can call it as reversible process. If we are unable to perform these state changes in the reverse order, we can take it as a irreversible process. Like that, these 6 kinds of thermodynamic process we need to discuss in detail, and different parameters we are going to derive for these processes in this chapter. So these are 4 fundamental process, we can say: isobaric, isochoric, isothermal, and adiabatic process. We are going to discuss different parameters like work done on these process, what are the internal energies. Like that, we will calculate different equations for these 4 processes in future. Let us see next. 0th law of thermodynamics. So the 0th law of thermodynamics, it says that if 2 different processes A comma B are separately in thermal equilibrium with the system C, then A is in thermal equilibrium with B. You can say that if 2 different thermodynamic systems A and B, they are separately in thermal equilibrium with C. That means A and B also in thermal equilibrium. It says that consider process C here. Or the system C here. It is separated with other systems with a diathermic wall. And there is an adiabatic wall which separates systems A and B. This is system A and this is system B. Here it is adiabatic. This wall nature is, it is adiabatic wall. So the adiabatic wall means we have to observe one point here. What is diathermic? What is adiabatic? Diathermic means heat can flow. That means from A to C, heat can be transferred, and from B to C, heat can be transferred because these two are connected with a diathermic wall. Heat flow here allowed. Whereas adiabatic means, the definition of adiabatic already I have given. Adiabatic means there is no change in the heat. That means heat flow not allowed, or no heat flow in adiabatic wall. You can say that delta Q is 0 here and delta Q not equal to 0 in the diathermic wall case. So A and C both are at a thermal equilibrium and B and C also at a thermal equilibrium. Now observe this situation. Total system, if you observe, here the condition is A and C are in thermal equilibrium, B and C are in thermal equilibrium, but A and B are separated by adiabatic process where heat cannot flow from A to B. If adiabatic wall, if it is removed, then if it is removed, what happens? A and B both are combined. Then also there is no heat flow. Initially, because of adiabatic wall, there is no heat flow. But now, after removing the adiabatic wall also, if there is no heat flow, that means A is in thermal equilibrium with B. Both are at the same temperature. That's why there is no need of flowing the heat here. So that is what the zeroth law of thermodynamics says. So since A and B are in A and C are in thermodynamic equilibrium, and B and C are also in thermal equilibrium, then obviously A and B also in thermal equilibrium. Because of this thermal equilibrium only, there is no heat flow, even if this adiabatic wall is removed. That is what the statement of zeroth law of thermodynamics. It introduces one parameter, that is a physical parameter here, called temperature. So it introduces the parameter temperature. Here, heat, in terms of heat, we have discussed so far. For the temperature, if you consider, it is simply the degree of heatness. Or degree of hotness, you can say. The degree of hotness, I'm sorry. You can say the degree of hotness. Temperature as the degree of hotness, or it is the property of the system. Simply to say, it is the property of the system, a physical property, you can say. So the temperature, the parameter, should have some value to every system. If two systems are in thermal equilibrium, this temperature value should be same for those two systems. How the temperature is defined means, the temperature, it is a scalar quantity which should be equal for all the systems which are in thermal equilibrium. Simply, it is a degree of hotness and it should have some specific value, a numerical value for each system based on its state. And finally, it is concluding the zeroth law of thermodynamics in terms of temperature. We are concluding like this. the temperature should have the same value for all systems which are in thermal equilibrium. That is what the 0th law of thermodynamics says. Right. So let us close the session here. So in the next video, I am going to discuss about first law of thermodynamics and internal energy, heat, and work done on different processes. I am going to discuss. Thank you.